release Beata, CEO of Novel Tech Group, as she has dedicated her career to forging strategic collaborations and coaching neuro-linguistic programming with executives, startups, scientists, innovators, and medical practitioners. Please a round of applause for Beata.
Thank you. I can actually relate to many of these women around here saying that they write a story, they speech to say, I've done the same, I've wrote it again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I even going to say? So I'm just going to continue with some of the topics and passion that these women have. First of all, I want to just say thank you to all my friends, supporters, people that I've crossed paths with. I just want you to all know that I'm an extension of who you are. I've connected with your passion, with your vision, and I persevere along by your side. You chose me, I chose you. And I sometimes just want to go to say that at the end of the day, we got a gift. We got a gift from God to live. And then the entire life is just the experience. What do we do with the experience? It's really up to us. The passion, the vision that drives us to do something meaningful, to be able to do something that is impactful. We all want to have a sense of belonging. We all want to contribute. We all want to give. We all want to feel like we are worthy. So many of the people who are here today, and they feel that they're not strong enough, perhaps I'll share some of my history and perseverance. Where I am today is because of many people I surround myself with. I come from Europe, from communist country, where there's a different type of culture. It's all about you gotta perform, you gotta be strong, perhaps never good enough. I used to be a competitive athlete at a high national level, competed for the country for about 10 years. The reason I did it because I loved it, but also it came with many other things. It came with feeling that I need to represent the country. You go for the competition and people just assume you're going to win. So the pressure was high. And the coaching style is very different than here in Canada. It's more about, okay, just do better, do more, to be greater. And just then some of the personality and characters and feelings in you resonates in a sense of, am I actually good enough? Can I do it? So you're doubting yourself, doesn't matter how good you are. I shortly afterwards had a very strong coach. She would always push me harder and further. Never told me, good job, but I didn't need to hear that. So some of you who are here and you think that you're doing it for others, first of all, just do it for yourself. Do it because you want it, you choose it. And you don't necessarily need to get a lollipop all the time. I've decided later on, years later, to take 2 universities at the same time because, again, trying to prove yourself that you can. Shortly enough, I found out that many of my subjects were in English, and I spoke Slovak and a few other languages, but not English very well. And it was hard. It was not easy for me. And then I decided that I probably should venture to go to a different country to learn English. So I chose and selected Canada. The country of hope, the place where I thought I could have a placement. I came and took a private school, and a few months later, my uncle sheltered me for 3 weeks. I was able to stay with him, but then the reality kicked in. I appeared one day in North Vancouver with the classical weather in fall, lots of rain, 2 suitcases by my side, and $100 in my pocket. I had no place to go. Knowing that I grew up in a pretty good home and I was not really equipped to be street smart, I didn't know what to do, and I did not want to call my parents. I came to Canada alone. Everybody else stayed back home. And I started to cry. At that moment when I was in Vancouver, I just cried. One lady was so sweet, so beautiful, so elderly, and she walked to me and she said, "What's going on?" She reached out to me. Later on, she sheltered me for 2 months.
Wow.
That enabled me to do the same. There were times throughout my career and all the things we've done and achieved, I've reached out to many others and did the same. I've sheltered them in my home. Children who ran away from home, they stayed in our place. Mothers who didn't feel that there was a right marriage for them, they needed shelter as well, so we sheltered them again. So I just wanted you to know that sometimes in our life things happen for a reason. Maybe you need to do them again, maybe you need to do them as well. Fast forward, after being sheltered, stood in Canada, I've very quickly learned that I only have a visitor visa. Now what do I do? After half a year staying here, Canada just didn't want me. At least that's what I felt. They just sent me to Seattle saying, I have to figure it out. I no longer have a visa. And again, another crying moment. I cried in the embassy, and one lady, again, probably liked my tear here and there, and she just gave me an extension, and I stayed that much longer. So again, we didn't give up, we persevered. Going back here in Canada, I wanted to study. I still wanted to continue my education because that's something I needed to do because my parents wanted me to do. So I persevered and went to university, but I also wanted to have children. As many of these women said, well, we like to do it all, might as well just do it all. So I said, okay, well, I would love to have a child. So I had this newborn baby and went through university, and soon enough I realized that I had to get a permission to even breastfeed a child during a class. So that's how I done the 4.5 years, having 2 little boys. One of my sons is actually here. It's right there, Daniel. So I just wanted to know, and again, you spoke highly as a woman here, empowering women, but I also want you to know we want to empower our sons, our boys, our fathers, our partners, and our men. They're as equal as important as we are. Without them, I don't think we can be who we are. The wholesome is within unity and complement between all of us. Sometimes we feel we are leaders for a reason. And things have evolved in my life such a way that I didn't know how things are happening. I didn't know why I had to be competing, why I had to be an athlete. Now I know. I do know now because it made me to be more resilient, self-disciplined, self-driven. And I love the fact that Anita also said, she likes to disturb the norm, challenge what has not been done before. And that's exactly what I did with all of you, my friends' support, that I became an extension and voice for you. During the pandemic, and this is fast forward, in between there were a lot of other hurdles, but we don't have that much time today. But during the pandemic, when the world was so lost, and we had no way of knowing what's right, what's wrong, there was just too much of a divide, too much of divisions, and we just didn't know how we were supposed to take care of ourselves, our families, losing the jobs. I was not okay with what was said to us. I knew there was a solution for respiratory support. I knew from back home, because I come from Czechoslovakia, former Czechoslovakia, we had a lot of salt caves. I knew what it did for respiratory support. I knew it's anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antiviral. So why aren't we talking about that during the pandemic? It became so much stronger. At that time, I was having a couple of the corporations running, sitting on some of the boards. I was busy. I didn't have the time to do anything else. But the pandemic showed up and just changed and shifted all what I was envisioning to do really in my life. There was one place that I knew of that had a salt cave. I reached out and I said, can I please come there and take care of my lungs and for my children? The lady said no. in March was the time when everyone in the world said, we have a pandemic, it's a worldwide, stay home, don't go anywhere. In September and October, I think all of us remember we had to stay home. We couldn't go to our neighbor. We just been waving to each other from our driveway and singing for each other and putting support for our first responders, which I also want to acknowledge as well. That was the time when I decided to purchase that clinic because she's told me she's going to bankrupt. There's no way she can support and she will be able to stay and be open. I took it over because my intention, like you have mentioned actually, Jesse, too, my intention was, okay, well, I know it helps, it works. Why don't we just do it for my friends? So I purchased the clinic for me, my family, and my friends. And they all, within 2 months, came for free. A lot of people showed up. A lot of people got help. The moment that I found that actually it's helping and it's supporting a lot of people, I said, okay, I'll have to start hiring people. We started to grow. Just like you were mentioning, Tanya, that your clinic started from 1 room. I think my clinic started with 2 rooms. I had a little bit of advantage. So 2 rooms, treatment for Salt Cave, and started to create a community. In that small center, we outgrew many of the people I met. Some people are here, some people sitting over here, other people sitting over here. So you believed in me. I do want to thank you for your trust, for your transparency, for your education, for your skills. I would not be who I am today. I did deliberately surround myself with people who are greater, better, smarter, and inspirational. I'm here to serve, as God says. And I want to do something that is meaningful, inspiring, and not only that, it's for humanity. We won't mention things about AI. We mentioned about how it might intersect with us. We will always be humans. We need each other, we need a community. And something needs to be done. It's time to do it now, before we lose ourselves. To end it in a very short way, because lots of things happen in between and after, I want you to stay inspired, because if you feel that something needs to change, sometimes we have leaders, sometimes we have people who have a high intellect, sometimes we have people who have connections, others who have ability to execute. Maybe we don't need all the parts ourselves. Reach out to those who can. Just be, do, and participate.
Thank you. We are going to continue now with our panel discussion. So if I can have Karen